Today's guest has a new single out September 20th as a result of a successful Kickstarter campaign. It marks Dreaming Soda's first single in 3 years. We'll get into all that and more in just a minute. But before we get there, please welcome Ella from Dreaming Soda to Televised Magazine. How are you?
I am so good. How are you going, Tristan?
It's been fantastic working with you to make this happen. I'm glad we're finally here getting this scheduled with some
Me too.
issues along the way, but it's all behind us
Always.
now. Let's jump
Absolutely.
right into Kissing Stacey. It's playful, it's indie pop. It uses Barbie as a metaphor. Tell everyone
Mm.
watching about the meaning behind the song.
Yeah, so I came across this YouTube essay. I'm someone who loves to watch those really in-depth, well-edited essays on YouTube.
Me too.
And I found one that was called The Queer Marxist Theory of Barbie. And I just obviously that's right up my alley.
Mhm.
And I just really loved the discussion about Barbie kind of being able to represent so many different things, like kind of as a brand, but then also as a concept. So Barbie can be very conservative and uphold these gender norms and also be a representation of kind of over consumerism and gluttony.
Mhm.
Um, but for a lot of people can also be this platform for play with their identity and
Yeah.
even sexuality as well. And I think that's so interesting that this doll can kind of represent all those things at once. So
Mhm.
I really wanted to write a song that kind of very lightly explores those concepts, but kind of more than that is talking about that sort of queer panic about making your Barbie dolls kiss each other and asking yourself, does that make me gay? So I just thought that was such a weirdly universal concept.
And then with the Barbie movie a couple of years ago, it kind of put some of those talking points on a larger scale with how successful that movie was. But you said on Instagram that this was written in 2022, so it predates the release of the Barbie movie.
It
Uh,
does.
what was the journey that the song kind of went on as it was being written, expanded on, evolved? Did that movie being released in 2023 play into it at all?
I really wanted the song to come out amidst the Barbie craze.
Hmm.
The aesthetic around the Barbie movie coming out was just fun, but then also really drove home those concepts of
Yeah.
over consumerism. And just honestly, when you're an independent artist, it's not as easy as just wanting to make something like that happen.
Hmm.
It ended up being a bit more of an expensive endeavor than I anticipated. And I'm just so glad it's finally out now. But the Dreaming Soda project was kind of started because I wanted to write these light-hearted songs about childhood memories and nostalgic things, especially for me as a 1997 baby in Australia,
Hmm.
and talk about some of those just really specific things to me. And it's been interesting to see how much other people relate to things that I thought were very specific to my childhood. And after our first EP, I was thinking, what are other concepts that I could explore? And making your Barbies kiss each other was one of those. And I think the week before our EP came out, we started to kind of build on that and experiment. And I was like, damn it, I wish I could have done this months ago and maybe had it come out with the EP.
Hmm.
But I'm really glad that this song gets its own moment.
Yeah, it gets its own moment. It stands apart from the whole Barbie craze of 2023, but at the same time, we're at a point 2 years and some change on where people might start feeling a tiny bit of nostalgia of like, oh, was the world a lot better back then? Probably, yeah. But just wanting to look back and be nostalgic for that summer. So I think it might be coming out at a really, really good time.
Yeah, I hope so. I think that while I initially wanted it to, yeah, join the craze, and I had so many people say, like, oh, yeah, it should come out as soon as possible so that it
Mhm.
can be a part of this big Barbie movement. Obviously, like the marketing campaign behind that movie was kind of something we've never really seen
Yeah.
before, at least in my lifetime. Um,
I don't
so
think I've seen anything similar either. And the fact that the Barbenheimer part of it was entirely organic too is
honestly, yeah, I
insane.
think, yeah, it was insane. And I think I am actually glad that this gets to be its own thing. I don't feel like it's trying to capitalize on a moment because it
Hmm.
really is different to what the Barbie movie represented. And I think that as much as it's nice to feel like you are locked into trends and following what seems smart marketing wise, I think it's so much more important to just actually do what is authentic to you and gives your art
Yeah.
its own moment to shine.
Hmm. And then this Kissing Stacey and the new era of Dreaming Soda, if we'll call it that, it's the result of a Kickstarter campaign, which Kickstarter used to be much bigger in the 2010s than it is now, kind of. How did the idea of a Kickstarter campaign come about, and what did it mean to hit that goal and be able to fund this project?
Yeah, I've used Kickstarter in the past with my first EP. I really wanted to release a comic book with the EP,
Okay.
and this was in kind of the lockdown era where
Hmm.
I'm very nostalgic for that era because the amount of support people had for musicians, even just within the music community, was just astounding. And I'm still grieving, like
Yeah.
not having the community that was. But anyway, I had a Kickstarter for that, and it was so successful. It doubled the amount that I asked for, and I
Okay.
was able to produce a comic book with my album. And trying to get Barbie out into the world. It's a song that we've been playing at a lot of shows. People sing along to it. People ask me when it's coming out, even though it doesn't even like really exist. They're singing back the lyrics to me that they've remembered from the live shows.
Hmm.
And it made me feel like I think that there is a community around this song, even if it's a small community, but people really seem to like it.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it's very expensive to do this stuff, and it can be really hard to try and do it half-assed as well. Like
Yeah.
maybe getting the song out is affordable, but then the marketing that it deserves, that can be the thing that really kills it in the end.
Hmm.
So I just decided to give it a go. I put a bit more time into the campaign, and I really enjoyed making some interesting tiers for people to contribute to. Um, and yeah, I was really blown away by how much my community pulled through.
Hmm.
Um, and even though it's different to a normal Kickstarter where you might get an exclusive, board game or a version of something, the the fact that people just really supported what I was doing, and a lot of the time people didn't even want like the reward lists that I had. They just wanted to support me. So I feel really grateful for
Yeah.
that.
That's got to feel like rewarding to know like, oh, I've been putting my heart and soul into this song for 3 years, and I have this idea of this marketing campaign and a music video and the short series you've been doing on Instagram that I want to touch on in a second. It's got to feel good that other people want to support that and want to see that, you know?
Yeah, it's like it's everything because you can feel really like isolated doing music and convincing yourself that people actually do want your art.
Hmm.
You have to kind of decide that you don't really care about that. But then at the same time, it's the entertainment industry. So you kind of have this light responsibility to entertain as well.
Yeah.
So I think seeing that support in such a tangible way was really, really
Hmm.
important for this next chapter.
How did that idea for the short skits that have been going up on Instagram with the Barbie dolls, how did that come together? How long has that idea been in your head?
It's funny because that was a very kind of recent development.
Okay.
I bought so much of this Barbie stuff secondhand at thrift stores over the last year because I had this idea of doing a pretty low budget music video.
Hmm.
Um, and I had it all set up, and the music video ended up becoming a much bigger project, which is really exciting. But yeah, I just had all this Barbie stuff, and me and my housemate, I live with my best friend, and we were just playing around with them and like making up kind of what would you as an adult playing with Barbies make your Barbies discuss,
Hmm.
like if you're a child, it might be I can't even remember what I would make my Barbies talk about, but I love the idea of using dolls to discuss things that are kind of more like adult conversations, I guess.
Hmm. How would
And
Barbie dolls pay their taxes, you know?
literally, I actually have a sketch about that. So
Okay, I can't wait to see it.
yeah. So it was just like we were just kind of playing around and we had just some really kind of funny like ends to some ideas, and I just wanted to
Hmm.
start writing them down, and I thought, oh, we could just like film these and have them be part of the promotion. And then of course it becomes like properly edited and lit and everything because I just everything has to become bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really fun to put those together.
That goes back to what you were saying is it's hard to do anything half-assed when it's your art, when it's your stream of consciousness going into this and it's your baby essentially.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lyric music video coming out, which is a scrapbook of all the lyrics, and it's like
Okay.
moving the pages. And my friend has animated the whole thing
Oh,
so it
wow.
pops up. And then we have a music video coming out, which also ended up having like a huge team, and it was in a studio space. And I always have these ideas of it being very small scale and DIY. I think I've relied on my own skills a lot in my
Hmm.
music career, and it's hard to accept sometimes that I can't actually ask for help from
Yeah.
creative people around me. And I feel very privileged that at the moment I do have a creative community that is just excited to make my projects come alive.
Hmm.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's just got to be very rewarding, you know. Dreaming Soda's been around for a few years. The first release was in June of 2022, but you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned writing during COVID. So it's kind of been a long road. What were the origins like for Dreaming Soda?
Yeah, I had a more singer-songwriter project, which I still release and perform under.
Okay.
And I felt like all my songs were quite vulnerable and emotional. And I really enjoyed that space, but I kind of had this desire to do something that was a little bit more chaotic and a bit more lighthearted in terms of its content. And I was playing around with a friend from uni, and he was really into Mac DeMarco and was
Okay.
kind of creating a couple of little backing tracks that were um, just a little bit funkier. And I just kind of felt inspired to write songs about childhood memories that I had. I have a terrible memory, but
Yeah.
when I write about things, I then remember it. It's
Hmm.
kind of like when you look at a photo album and you remember that exact moment,
Yeah.
but then like other moments from that same time period you have like no memory of,
I think
but
there's
you
a
remember the
psychological aspect to it of like actually putting the pen to paper and writing something down does help you remember it more a little bit.
absolutely, yeah. And I think I kind of almost wanted to take a snapshot of some memories that were really important to me that
Hmm.
I didn't have photos of. So it was, yeah, it was just really fun to put that together. That was, I think, in 2019 though, and the
Okay.
project kind of lay dormant for a while. I was doing Ableton courses
Hmm.
at a community center, and that was really helpful for me to get out some of these ideas. Instead of using a guitar, I was using beat pads and synthesizers, and I just
Hmm.
it was so expressive and colorful. And it took a few years for things to develop. In COVID, I started to write a little bit more seriously, trying to get the concepts a bit more solidified. But it was a huge leap for me to go from having this project I had a little bit of success from to then do something that had no following and was completely brand new. Um, but it's something that I'm so proud of because to me it's
Hmm.
so much more expressive, and it's something that I have so much fun when we play live shows. I play bass,
Okay.
and it's just I've always been like girl with guitar, and so to
Hmm.
be playing like bass lines and singing is just it's the best. It makes me like fall in love with music again.
Yeah, it's got to be scary to have that like starting over moment of I'm doing well under this name, but then I'm going to start this new thing that's entirely different that nobody knows about. It's either going to succeed or fail, but we've seen it work in the past to great effect. You know, Fleetwood Mac's self-titled album, the White Album, was their
Mm,
10th overall, you know, and it was a complete
yeah.
reinvention. They added Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham. So that's just one historical example of how taking a step back, reinventing, falling in love with music again, like you said, is um, it can be magic, you know?
It can be. And I think that even just the personal experience of doing that has so much value.
Hmm.
I feel like from a marketing perspective, I got so much kind of flack from it from my peers. Like, why would
Really?
you do that? Yeah, I had a lot of people say like, this is like not a good idea. You should use the momentum you have, all this stuff. Because when you're a small artist, you feel like you have to put your creative integrity to the side in order to get like the success. It's like you need a
Yeah.
certain level of success before you can start taking those creative choices.
Hmm.
And there were people who were supportive of me, of
Yeah.
course, but I think people who are more industry focused were like, you have followers, it's confusing for people. But tonally, the projects are just complete opposites. So I
Right.
wanted to give them their own spaces. And um, yeah, it's been hard to manage two projects that
Yeah.
you're committed to, but I think it's really fun to kind of take off
Hmm.
hats and like try something different. So
Yeah.
it's overall, I think it's been the right decision for me. But you do give up a little bit in order to make that happen in
Hmm.
terms of like momentum and everything.
Yeah. But especially with the arts, there's very few ways to make like major long-lasting change without taking risks like that.
Mm.
At least that's
Yeah,
my
so true.
perspective. You kind of
Yeah.
mentioned Mac DeMarco a couple minutes ago, so maybe that's a hint at what the answer will be to this next question. What artists have inspired the sounds and styles for Dreaming Soda?
Yeah. I think when we were first developing the ideas, it was a little bit more collaborative and it was more uh, Mac DeMarco, a song like Jake on my first EP that
Hmm.
was very Mac DeMarco sort of inspired, and also Tame Impala as well. But I think that I had this kind of desire to just be a little bit more wild and
Mm,
chaotic. And a huge influence for me is the band Superorganism.
okay.
They use a lot of different sound effects and um, just like strange structural choices, and I love that. And then I also really love St. Vincent and
Mm,
Renee, who is my duo partner in the band.
yep.
She's a guitarist and takes heavy inspiration from the grunge and the like unapologeticness of St. Vincent's guitar
Yeah.
writing. So I think those are two bands that I feel very influenced by. But
Hmm.
um, it's fun to kind of try and be influenced by your world around you as well,
Hmm.
especially when it comes to recording sound effects. Kissing Stacey has like bubbles
Yeah.
and toy sounds and stuff, and it was fun to kind of use those parameters to create something.
It helps build a universe within the song itself, I would say,
Absolutely.
to
Yeah.
have an environment around it.
Totally.
And it's not something we see a ton of anymore. So that's cool.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Um,
think it's inspiring to like create a bit of a universe, and it
yeah.
can be it can be challenging in some ways because you can put all this work into it and then eventually it kind of has to dissipate for the next project. But right now I'm feeling really happy to be in this universe.
Is the sort of direction that you're going with Kissing Stacey the direction you want to keep go? Do you want to keep going down that road with like another single in a year or so, following the same sort of well thought out, in-depth, universe-esque style to it?
So there's another two songs that we've been doing in our live
Okay.
sets, which I would really love to bring into the world. One of them is called Martian Boy, and
Mhm.
that's been another fan favorite as well. But I unfortunately I can see the world for that too, and I feel like
Yeah.
it needs to be curated and built. I have this real pressure on myself to have the consistency of releases that I always see in you know, articles about how to have success in the music industry, and you need to
Have a
have releases,
single
and
every 2 months, you know?
yeah, you have to have something ready, and that I think can stifle creativity a little
Hmm.
bit. And to be honest, like doing DIY independent artist stuff can really easily burn you out, and this is
Yeah.
supposed to be fun. So I think that I want to make sure I have fun with Kissing Stacey's world and
Hmm.
then have fun with the next world. I have some songs I want to release. Part of me laments the fact that there's songs that I've been playing for years and I already, in part, feel like they're in the world.
Hmm.
And something I really want to do is write new songs. I have a
Yeah.
few ideas and they're kind of mildly fleshed out, but I'm really excited to have another project to bring out and maybe another
Hmm.
comic book.
The idea of a comic book, because I haven't seen, I didn't even know there was a comic book for the EP until we were talking about it a few minutes ago. The idea of that is it's original and it's unique in a way that I don't know how to describe it. It stands apart from most other things I see?
Thank you. Yeah, it was a really fun thing to do. I kind of my method usually is I'll have a creative idea and I'll be like, ah, what a lofty thought. And then I'll be like, damn it, I think I actually have enough skills to pull off this
Hmm.
at like 50% quality. And then I end up obsessing over it and doing it. I was the the comic book was my lockdown project.
Okay.
And I was living in Melbourne, which is about a 10-hour drive from Sydney, where my family was
Okay.
living. And we were driving up during this brief period where the borders were not closed. And I was in the car just kind of designing a storyboard of it. And because I was like, well, maybe I can just try. And if it's bad, then I don't have to do it. But then I just
Hmm.
got so into creating it. The comic book is it's not really a comic book. It's more like a lyric book, but it has images in it.
Okay.
Um, so the story isn't kind of consistent, but it has the
Hmm.
story of each song. And then I found some artists on Instagram just through the commissions open tag who I really liked, and they were up
Hmm.
for it, and they designed like they drew the entire thing and colored it, and it was just such a fun
Yeah.
project.
It reminds me of like the CD booklets when you get a CD. It reminds like that come to life in a way is what my mind was thinking when you were describing it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was definitely inspired by that. I have a vast CD collection
Yep, so do I.
and I love opening those CD books and just seeing all the love and
Hmm.
attention to detail. And again, that's why I find it hard to just release something and release something and release something because I invest in these creative worlds and I want to build on them. Part of this Kissing Stacey release, I was not going to do a sketch comedy series, but then it just kind of happened, and it's really nice to just follow your creative train of thoughts, and um, it's been a lot of fun, and I want to always create like that. I want to
Hmm.
always have ideas and care like a little less about the making smart marketing decisions
Yeah.
and just try and find people that can appreciate just the creative worlds that are built.
Hmm. Um, with our combined love of physical media, it's my background's
Mm-hmm.
blurred, but you can probably see all of it behind me. Has the idea of a potential physical release of either a Kissing Stacey single or waiting until there's more songs, or even releasing the past EP on vinyl or CD, has that ever come up as a thought?
Yeah, it's so funny that you say that because I found a website yesterday that does vinyl printing
Hmm.
at no cost, apparently. So I've
Okay.
been looking into it because I love vinyl and I have a lot
Yep.
of it. And it's been a dream of mine to have my music on vinyl. I did a print of CDs for my very first release under
Okay.
my other band name.
Yeah.
And I have 200 CDs in storage. So
Oh,
I am a
wow.
little bit wary about
Uh-huh.
printing physical media because as much as you might be in love with the project, it's hard to get other people
Yeah.
involved.
When was that print run for the first release?
So that was in 2017.
Okay. Because the physical media landscape's kind of changed a lot since then.
That is true. I should stop bringing them to
Yeah,
shows.
especially
So
with
this
like
is
our age group, the Gen Z age group,
yeah,
it's making a huge
huge
comeback
comeback.
in ways
Yeah,
that I didn't think would happen, and I love it?
I know it's so fun. I've been collecting DVDs as well, partly
Yeah.
because like I just watch the same movies over and over
Hmm.
again, and I cannot keep having 10 like streaming services. So now I
Yeah.
just have a wall of DVDs, and I've canceled all my streaming services. It's just so
It's
good.
it's worth it to like actually own the
Honestly.
things that matter to you. And I've started like working towards like full collections from my favorite artists. Like I finished Paramore recently.
Oh,
So
amazing.
it's just fun actually owning stuff, you know, and then also getting to support smaller and independent artists while you're doing it. Just kind of makes you feel
Yeah,
good, you know?
absolutely. Yeah, but I really want to do a vinyl run. I think
Okay.
it's scary to do that. I have some
Yeah.
friends who have done that, and sometimes it can be thousands of dollars of investment. And
Hmm.
I am not under the illusion that you can get your money back when it comes to music. People are like, oh, it's going to be expensive, but you'll make it back in shows. Absolutely not. Usually it's just lost
Never,
money.
never a guarantee.
It's never a guarantee.
Hmm.
And I think I would love to do, I'm trying to find a sustainable way to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm very interested in having more physical media and kind of things for people to own.
Hmm. It's good to hear, and it's good to talk to you and talk to someone like-minded on creativity and the music industry and physical media. And
Mm,
everybody should go listen to Kissing Stacey when it's out on the 20th. Before we wrap up, where can fans find you on social media?
thank you. Yeah, so on Instagram, it's at Dreaming Soda. Kind of part of why I chose that name when I was trying to think of one was that I could get that handle, Dreaming
Yeah.
Soda. No hyphens, no underscores.
Hmm.
Um, and on Spotify, Dreaming Soda, um, Dreaming Soda Music on YouTube. I have one view on one of those sketches. So
Oh,
join the
going up in
community.
the world, going up in the world.
Yeah, on TikTok because I do so many different music things. It's Ella and the music. But I think on Instagram there's kind of like a link to everything. So
Okay. So everybody
if
can go to
it
the
me,
Instagram and
yeah,
follow on
Instagram,
everything.
perfect. Yeah.
And then the question that I end every interview with,
Hmm.
what are your three favorite songs at the moment? What's something that
Oh,
anybody, be it your best friend or a stranger, could ask and you'd be like, this is my on repeat.
yeah. Okay. All right. So I've been really loving Chapel Roan. I
Hmm.
think that I wasn't too sure about Subway the first time I heard it, but now
Yeah.
I can't stop singing the bridge.
Yeah,
She got away. It's so
I
good.
do enjoy that more than I enjoyed The Giver earlier in the year. She's coming to
Yeah,
Kansas
me
City in
too.
October, which is like 3 hours from me. Was not able
Oh
to get
my
tickets,
gosh.
so
Oh
I
man,
know.
I really hope she does a show in Australia sometime. She did like a
Yeah.
few years ago, and anyway, it's fine. I'm not sad about not
So we
being
got the
there.
Subway as number one.
Yeah, there's this song by an artist called Gwendolyn with I think two or three G's at the beginning.
Hmm.
And her song "My Year of Rest and Relaxation" is such a favorite of mine. It's been on my list for the last few years. I think she's an amazing small artist, but
Okay.
the chaos of that song is just fantastic. I
As I
highly
say,
recommend
I've
it.
not heard of her, but one of my favorite things about asking this question is finding new music to listen to.
Finding new music, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And okay, what else? I I've been doing a lot of running recently, so I've been
Hmm.
listening to a lot of Brat
Okay.
because it's like really
It's Brat
motivating.
summer, although it's winter for you right now, isn't it? So
It
it's
is
Brat winter
winter.
for you.
It is Brat Winter, but I really like back to back B2B on the Brat album.
Okay.
That's been amazing for me. I feel like these are such basic answers. I swear I like
They're
other
all good
music
ones
too.
though. I mean,
They are
I knew
good.
two of the three, so
Yeah, well there we go. So check out Rest My Year of Rest and Relaxation by Gwendolyn. It's a banger.
yeah. Hey, thank you for joining me. Thank you for putting your art into the world with Dreaming Soda and Kissing Stacey. It's been fun getting to learn all about what you do. Thank you everybody for watching. Go listen to
Thank
Kissing
you.
Stacey, listen to Dreaming Soda, and I will see you all later. Have a good one.
Thank you
Bye.
so much. See you later.